Did you know that it is not only legal to eat horse meat, but that Canada is a leading exporter of horses for slaughter? Welcome to the Box Factory. In today's episode, we will discuss a controversial topic that has been in the news lately due to efforts from animal rights advocacy groups and even celebrities to raise awareness about the practice as well as to push the Canadian government towards banning the domestic slaughter and export of live horses meant for slaughter. Horse meat is obtained from horses and it is a food source in some cultures. It is considered a delicacy in some countries, while in others it is seen as a taboo. The taste and texture of horse meat can be described as slightly sweeter and tender than beef. It is high in protein and iron, but low in fat. Horse meat is most commonly consumed in Europe, Latin America, and Asia. Horse meat is legal to consume in Canada, but is not widely consumed. The slaughter and processing of horses for human consumption is regulated by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, the CFIA. In order to be sold for human consumption, horse meat must come from animals that have been raised for food production and must meet specific health and welfare standards. The availability of horse meat in Canada is limited, and it can be difficult to find it in grocery stores. Yes, Canada exports horse meat to other countries where it is consumed as a food source. The regulations for the export of horse meat from Canada are set by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The CFIA ensures that the meat meets the Canadian and international food safety standards before it is exported. The countries to which Canada exports horse meat include Belgium, France, Japan, and Italy. In these countries, horse meat is considered a delicacy and is used in various dishes such as sausages and stews. It is important to note that while the export of horse meat from Canada is legal, the horse slaughter industry is a controversial and emotional issue for many Canadians. Some believe that horses should not be raised for food production and that the export of horse meat should be banned. Others believe that it is a viable source of food and an important part of some cultures' culinary traditions. In Japan, horse meat is used in various dishes and is considered a delicacy. Some popular Japanese dishes that feature horse meat include basashi, thin slices of raw horse meat often served as sashimi with soy sauce and ginger. Nikuni, a hot pot dish made with horse meat, vegetables, and tofu. Twakwanomoto, a sweet yellow pickled daikon radish that is often served with horse meat dishes. Horse meat is also used as an ingredient in some traditional Japanese dishes such as shabu shabu, a type of hot pot, and sukiyaki, a type of one-pot dish. Horse meat is a unique and exotic ingredient in Japanese cuisine and is valued for its tender texture and slightly sweet flavor. In Japan, horse meat is often considered a healthier alternative to other meats as it is low in fat and high in protein and iron. The current Prime Minister of Canada promised to ban the sale of horse meat. Horse meat is legal in Canada and regulated by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The CFIA sets standards for the slaughter and processing of horses for human consumption to ensure that it is safe and meets the Canadian International Food Safety Regulations. It is possible that there has been advocacy or public pressure to ban the sale of horse meat in Canada, but without a clear policy or legislative proposal, it is difficult to say why it has not been banned. In many cases, decisions on issues such as this are influenced by a complex set of factors, including cultural attitudes, economic considerations, and political pressure. Some animal welfare organizations and advocates for horse welfare were calling on the Canadian government to ban the export of horses for slaughter, citing concerns about the welfare of the animals and the inhumane methods used to kill them. However, it is important to know that a ban on the export of horses for slaughter would be a complex and a politically sensitive issue, as it would likely have the economic impacts on the horse industry and on communities that rely on the horse meat industry for their livelihoods. In Canada, the regulations of the horse slaughter industry is under the jurisdiction of the federal government, and any changes to the regulations would require a policy or legislative change. According to the Canadian Horse Defense Coalition, musician and celebrity Jan Arden is an active supporter of the ban. For Arden, who's been involved with horses for decades, the cause is personal and one she's been involved with for some time. I was very outspoken about the culling of wild horses on their eastern slopes in Alberta, which still goes on because of forestry, because of the petroleum industry. They round up a bunch of horses and they slaughter them, she said in an interview. As Arden tells it, a veterinarian told her large draft horses are being bred in feedlots in Alberta and Manitoba by a handful of farmers. She said this group then flies as many as 90 horses per week to a small island in Japan. Many of the flights are now run through the Korean airline, according to the singer. Arden describes the process as 4 large horses put into a wooden crate. They're crapping all over each other and they're terrified. They often fall on each other and they often arrive dead. She said the horses are shipped live because their meat is eaten raw as part of a dish called sashimi. She likened the price to Kobe beef. It's terrifying and a sinister little part of Canadian agriculture, Arden said. Arden and the CHDC have put forward a petition to the Canadian Parliament. In this case, the petition to ban the shipment of live horses is sponsored by a member of the Parliament, MP Nathaniel Erskine Smith, meaning with 100,000 signatures it can present it to the House. In addition to Arden's petition, a BC-based campaign has a similar goal. The BC SPCA says Canada is one of the few countries left in the world that ships horses for meat, estimating more than 40,000 animals have been exported in the last 8 years. Under recently updated transport laws, horses can be shipped without feed, water, or rest for up to 28 hours. How do you feel about this controversial practice? Leave a comment below and make sure to share this video to raise awareness about this cause.